A vet thinks he's saving a tiny, abandoned puppy until he discovers the shocking truth. This heartwarming and heartbreaking story will leave you in tears. What would you do if you found out your rescue wasn't what you thought? Before we begin, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to give you a shout out with your city name. And if this story touches your heart, don't forget to subscribe for more emotional tales. Dr. Ethan Carter sighed as he sorted through the last patient files of the day. The old clock in his clinic ticked softly, almost drowned out by the hum of the fluorescent lights. It had been a long day in the small town of Pine Ridge, vaccinations, checkups, and even a cat who'd gotten too curious about a porcupine. His assistant, Mia, poked her head into his office. "Almost done, Dr. Carter? Need anything else before I head out?" Ethan shook his head. "No, thanks, Mia. Just finishing up." Then the phone rang. Ethan hesitated. Late-night calls usually meant emergencies. He picked up. Pine Ridge Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Carter speaking. The voice on the other end was rushed, panicked. "Doc, it's Jake Reynolds. I found something. I think it's a puppy. Out near the old logging trail. It's not looking good." Ethan sat up straighter. Describe his condition. Tiny, barely any fur. Shaking like crazy. No mom in sight. I wrapped it in my jacket, but I don't think it'll make it through the night without help. Bring it in. Now. Mia, still lingering by the door, set her keys down. Emergency? Ethan nodded. Jake Reynolds found what he thinks is an abandoned puppy. Says it's in bad shape. They prepped the exam room. Warming blankets, for fluids, a pediatric stethoscope. Ethan's mind raced. Mange? Premature birth? 18 minutes later, Jake bursts in, cradling a bundle in his flannel jacket. "Thanks for staying open," document. Never seen anything like this little one. Under the bright exam lights, Ethan carefully unwrapped the bundle and froze. This was no ordinary puppy. It was tiny, yes, but its skin was paper-thin, veins visible beneath. Its eyes were too large, its muzzle too long. Its legs were spindly, ending in delicate paws, and it trembled with every shallow breath. "Where exactly did you find it?" Ethan asked, keeping his voice steady. "Up near Cedar Ridge, off the logging trail. Heard weak crying under a fallen log. No other animals around." Mia shot Ethan a glance. They both knew something wasn't right. "We'll do everything we can," Ethan promised. After Jake left, Mia whispered, "Dr. Carter, are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Ethan cradled the creature, feeling its rapid heartbeat. It let out a soft whimper, nuzzling weakly against his hand. This wasn't a dog. The next few days were a blur. The puppy grew stronger, but its features became even more unusual. Triangular ears, a paw structure unlike any domestic breed, and those eyes, too wild, too knowing. Ethan called his friend, Dr. Sarah Bennett, a wildlife biologist. She took one look and confirmed it. "This is a coyote pup, Ethan. Pure wild." The news hit him like a punch to the gut. Keeping a wild animal was illegal, dangerous. And yet, this tiny creature had trusted him, relied on him. The town buzzed with rumors. Reporters showed up. Wildlife officers arrived, stern but understanding. "You've done good work, Dr. Carter, but it has to go to a rehab center." Ethan's heart ached. He'd nursed his pup back from death, taught it to eat, watched its first wobbly steps. But he knew the truth. Wild things belong in the wild. The day of the transfer came too soon. Ethan packed the pup's medical records, his hands shaking. Mia cried as she handed over its favorite blanket. The wildlife officers loaded the carrier into their truck. The pup whined, confused. Ethan leaned in one last time. "You'll be okay, little one," he whispered. As the truck drove away, Ethan and Mia stood in silence. The clinic felt empty. Weeks later, Dr. Bennett sent photos. The coyote pup, now strong, sleek, its fur thick and healthy, stood among others of its kind, no longer trembling, no longer lost. It had learned to hunt, to howl, to be wild. Ethan smiled, tears in his eyes. Sometimes love means letting go. Moral lesson: true kindness isn't about keeping what we love. It's about doing what's best for them, even when it hurts. Wild hearts can't be tamed, and they shouldn't be. Did this story move you? Let us know where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more unforgettable tales. Because every like and share helps us spread stories that matter.